This call is now being recorded.
Good morning all. On behalf of IoT Academy, I welcome you all for the 5th session of National Level Faculty Development Program on NAAC Assessment and Accreditation RAF. Let me introduce the resource person of today's session, Dr. Anuradha Jain. Currently, Professor Jain is the Principal Dean at Vivekananda Institute of Professional Studies, Delhi. An alumnus of IIM Kolkata and a scholar from University of Mumbai, she has been dedicated to the teaching community for over 21 years. She is a NAAC assessor and has visited many colleges as NAAC peer team member. She has published many books and research articles to her credit in areas of business, economics, and environment. Dr. Jain was selected as one of the 100 eminent academicians of 2021 by International Institute of Organized Research for her remarkable contribution in the field of academics. She was conferred Best Teacher Award for her service. She received the Best Paper Award at the International Conference on Development of Economies through Innovation and Sustainable Growth Vision 2020. She has been the resource person for numerous webinars, FDPs, and seminars at various national institutes and universities. Recently, she was invited as a conference chairperson and keynote speaker at Oxford, London. She is also the advisory member of International Association of Research and Development Organization. With this, I hand over the session to Dr. Anuradha Jain. Ma'am, please.
Yeah, thank you, madam. And good morning. Good morning to all members, participants present here. So today is the 5th day of this FDP. And today we will be discussing about Criterion 5, which is related to student support and progression. Okay, so as you know, just to brief you again, that there are 7 criterion, and overall there are 1,000 marks, out of which any college, university, or institution is assessed. And as I have only told you earlier, that there is weighted average that is taken by the NAAC, and the system is that they calculate points on the basis of 0 to 4 point Likert scale, and they are graded as from 0 to 4 they are given points multiplied by the weightage given to that particular metric, and then overall they calculate the average. Okay, so the system is very, very transparent in the NAAC, and 70% assessment is done by the third party, and which are related to quantitative metrics. And for qualitative metrics, which is weighted for 30% of the total weightage, that is of 1,000 marks, which is assessed by the peer team members then when they visit the team. Now, if we talk about this Criterion 5, then Criterion 5, which is related to student support and progression, the total weightage that is given to this criterion is 140. Okay, and there are 4 key indicators. Again, I'll tell you that I am taking the latest format which is given by NAAC and which will be applicable from this month onwards. So those who will be applying from June onwards now, they will be following this format which I will be discussing with you about Criterion 5. Okay, so overall there are 4 key indicators. Total weightage is 140. There are total 9 metrics, and out of 9, 1 is qualitative and 8 are quantitative. So that means you can see that the entire this metric or this criterion is quantitative. Quantitative in nature, it means that it will be assessed by the third party through DVB. Only 10 marks is of qualitative. Now, see, if there are more metric which are quantitative in nature, it means that you have to prepare lot of data supporting document, because nobody will ask you. Okay, they will not come and see that okay what you have done, so you will not get the second chance or second opportunity to show your work. So for each and every metric, each and every data, you should have the supporting document since beginning. Otherwise then you will be in trouble. Okay, and when DVB also is taking place, at that moment they ask all the attendance sheets of the students, all events, activities organized for the students, all student participation, student award, everything. So you should have all the certificates of the students. And I give you example, like we also have applied for next cycle of NAAC. And under DVB, what they did, they have asked, certificates of every 10th student participating in the activity. Now you can imagine the data which we have to produce. Like we have around 7,000 students at our college. Out of 7,000, suppose if there are 5,000 students, those who are participating in different activities, it means that they are saying every 10th student. So when we prepare the Excel and of the list of students participating in the activities, that means all students, those who come on the number of multiple of 10, like number 1, number 10, okay, number 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So all those who are coming on that position, we have to produce the certificates of the participation or certificate of the award of those students that they have asked. So in that case, if you don't have sufficient data, then you will be in trouble, because if we are not in a position to produce all those certificates, then we will be marked 0 out of it. So this metric, this criteria require a lot of documentation. And the student is the center point of any educational institution. They are the main stakeholder. And student support and progressions, therefore, is very, very important, because all activities of any educational institution is done for the students only, for the benefit of the students. So we have to be very, very careful. We have to prepare a lot of data, okay, all supporting document for this criterion, whose weightage is of 140. Now, under this criterion, as I said, that there are 4 key indicators. So 5.1 first key indicator talks about student support. Okay, so what type of support any educational institution provides to the students for their growth, okay, for their progression. Then student progression means this will be related to the placement or students going for higher education, student clearing competitive exams and all. The next key indicator is about student participation and activities. That means what are the different activities that are organized by the college, by the institution, and how many number of students are participating into it. So total participation means, as I told you, like if we have 5,000 students participating in any particular year, so you should have all the details with enrollment number of the student, attendance sheet, everything you have to produce. And the last key indicator is about alumni engagement. Okay, whether you have a registered alumni association or not, what is the engagement of the students, how alumni contribute in the growth of the institution, what is the contribution in terms of financial terms by the alumni for the growth of the institution. So all that will come under this 5.4, that is alumni engagement. Okay, so in this way, overall, you can see that these are the 4 main key indicators of criterion 5, that is student support and progression. Now we will discuss one by one what comes under all these 4 key indicators. Now, if we talk about first key indicator, now in this you can see that 5.1.1, which is of 20 marks, and it talks about percentage of students benefited by scholarship and freeship provided by the government or non-government agencies during these last 5 years. Okay, so that means all scholarship which are given to the students by the government or non-government agencies during the last 5 years. So what is the format for this? That you have to give the name of the student, okay, what type of scholarship they have received, year in which they have received, any scheme, if it is there, the name of this scheme, government, okay, by government or NGO, and how many students benefited out of it. Okay, so year wise also you have to give a summary of this, and how they calculate the percentage, like how much or what is the percentage of the student who are benefited out of this scholarship and freeship in your institution for last 5 years, and divided by total number of students during the last 5 years. So they calculate the percentage and what is the total percentage of these students who have got scholarship. Okay, so and you also have to produce the report of scholarship, freeship, and number of students on your website, and also you have to provide the link in the SSR of your website where you have put this report of scholarship and freeship. So why they want everything to be put on the website? Because they want the system to be transparent. Okay, because otherwise what happens is, institutions may say something and actually that thing is not taking place. So therefore, just to bring transparency in the system, they ask everything to be uploaded on the website, and anybody and everybody can see it, and it becomes a public document. Okay, so therefore, to bring more transparency, they have asked this also to put on the website of the institution. So for this, you want to produce, in fact, finally, when you submit your SSR or at the time of TVV, they may ask you to give the letter where the approval has come from the government or any scheme. Okay, there are different schemes, that scholarship schemes or for EWS schemes of the government, under which they provide, benefit or scholarship or freeship to the students. So therefore, you also need to produce the approval letter by the government or by the non-government agencies who are giving these schemes, how much amount is transferred in the account of the student. So all this about related to money, related to agency, everything has to be produced to SSR or to DVV to score full marks here. And total weightage that is given is 20. Another metric is 5.1.2, which is again also quantitative. Okay, and that talks about capacity building and skill enhancement initiatives taken by the institution, including the following. So that means they have categorized this into 4 categories, that is soft skills, language and communication skills, life skills, and ICT. Soft skills means the personality, their etiquettes, okay, and how students represent themselves, or like group discussion, communication skill comes under first. Then language and communication skills, again, proficiency in the communication. So what are the different courses or skill enhancement programs any institution has introduced, or they have undertaken or organized for the benefit of the students. Then the third category is life skill, where mainly for mental fitness and physical fitness of the students. So whether institution is organizing workshop sessions related to yoga or any exercises, physical fitness, about health, about hygiene. Okay, so what are the programs, capacity building and skill enhancement initiatives or programs undertaken by the institution under this head? Then the fourth one is ICT, that is computing skill, because ICT skill is very, very important. So in this, normally we teach, softwares or any workshop, seminars related to the information and communication technology. Like suppose if we teach students Excel, basic Excel, or softwares, SPSS or R or Python. So all this comes under this head of 4, that is ICT and computing skills. Now, how your SSR will look like? There are these 4 options, and SSR will ask like whether you have taken initiatives under all these 4 heads. Then you can put A as option, that is all of the above. If under 3 categories, if you have organized, then you can give your answer as B. That means 3 of the above, or 2 of the above, or 1 of the above, or none of the above. Okay, so therefore, you have to have all these initiatives under all these heads to score this 10 marks here. And not only this, then for supporting document, you will have to give the brochures or what type of activities you conducted, how many number of students participated in this activity. So complete, student list with sample completion certificate, because when you are organizing any activity or you are organizing, skill enhancement programs, then the student who complete this program, you also give completion certificate. So at the time of SSR, you have to produce the completion certificate of the student, those who have, completed this program, along with the brochure or the resource person, those who are teaching this courses, and list of students, okay, modules, syllabus which was covered under this, but this should not be the part of the curriculum. Okay, this is over and above the curriculum of the institution. So this actually is related to student progression and student support. Why? Because all these capacity building, skill enhancement programs help students in their placement. So therefore, any accreditation agency, they would like to see what initiatives are taken by the institution to make them employable, to make them physical fit, to make them mentally fit. So therefore, they check that how many programs are organized under this head, whether you are taking care of all the different aspects of the personality of the students or not. Okay, and how many students participate in this. So all these details you have to produce to NAAC while giving your SSR, or they may ask further more details at the time of DVB. Okay, then next is 5.1.3, which is again a quantitative metric, because all these metrics are quantitative here. Okay, average percentage of student benefited by guidance for competitive examination and career counseling offered by the institution during the last 5 years. You know that every institution, they organize different activities for helping students in the placement. So we also provide the guidance for competitive exams, or we also provide career counseling sessions for the students. Like, for example, every institution, they organize like sessions related to what are the different possibilities for the student after completing their graduation, what is their scope later on after completing their graduation or after completing their post-graduation. So career counseling sessions are given. Then we also organize sessions related to like how to prepare their resume, how to appear for the personal interview, how to face the group discussion sessions. Or we also give guidance to the students related to competitive exams. Like suppose, for example, those who are doing BBA, BCom, or any undergraduate program, and they are willing to appear for the CAT exam. So we should give guidance to students, like what sort of preparation is required for preparation of CAT or MAT, or suppose those who are going for higher education for entrance exams. Okay, so all this type of guidance for competitive exams or guidance about career counseling, we need to give all the data for last 5 years to the students. And in this, like year-wise, we have to provide detail, like what sort of activities you conducted, and under each activity, how many students participated. And you also need to provide the report of each and every activity that was conducted. And the report will be consisting of the title of the session or title of the program which was organized or offered by the institution. Then who was the resource person, whether in-house or outsider. You must have outsourced those sessions. Then outsider, if resource person is, then detail about the resource person. What was the area that was covered during that session? What was the outcome of the session? How many students participated? And you please make sure that all attendance sheets should be signed by the students. Okay, earlier, if you have not done this, then at least start doing that habit now. So whichever event, whichever activity you organize, please take the signature of the students present in every activity. Then also take the geotagged photograph of sessions while conducting those sessions. So that will be the proof that yes, the institution organized these sessions. Okay, so in this metric, they will be calculating marks on the basis of the number of students benefited out of it. Because sometimes what happens is, if your strength is more, and suppose you have 2,000, 3,000 students, and you organize this activity, suppose there are 10 activities you organize, but the participation is very less. Suppose out of 3,000 students, only 500 students are participating. So in that case, you will not be able to score good marks, because percentage will be very less. Okay, percentage is suppose 10% or 20% of the students are only benefited. So what is the purpose of this type of calculation or this type of metric? Is that all our accreditation agencies and statutory bodies, they want that maximum students should be benefited out of it. Okay, because only if handful of students are benefited out of these activities, this initiative, then purpose will not be sold. Because the purpose of any educational institution is to give benefit to all the students, to all the stakeholders, not just a few students or very handful of students. So therefore, they calculate in terms of percentage, and accordingly, the marks will be given to the institution. Okay, the next metric is 5.1.4. That again is of 10 marks. And in this says that institution has a transparent mechanism for timely redressal of student grievances, including sexual harassment and ragging cases. Okay, you know that there are some statutory requirement of statutory bodies like this. Many committees should be there in any educational institution. So statutory requirement is for student grievance cell or student grievance committee. Then there is ICCSH, okay, that means internal complaint committee for sexual harassment, which is a mandatory requirement for any organization. Then also anti-ragging cell or anti-ragging committee, that is also the requirement of any educational institution for the smooth functioning of the institution for the benefit of the students. So these three are the statutory requirements. So in this quantitative metric, they ask that institution has a transparent mechanism for timely redressal of student grievance, including the sexual harassment and ragging cases. So it means that their timely redressal should be there, and it should not take very long to solve this problem or to resolve these issues which comes under the student grievance or sexual harassment cases or any ragging cases. So in this, there are 4 parameters. First is implementation of guidelines of statutory regulatory bodies. That means that all guidelines are, disseminated with the students. All implementation is there. All rules and regulations of the statutory regulatory bodies are followed properly. Then second is organization-wide awareness and undertakings on policies with zero tolerance. So that means there should be zero tolerance in case of sexual harassment at workplace or ragging cases. So any institution should have complete awareness programs for the students. At the time of orientation program also, we should give awareness to the students about existence of these committees, and wide circulation should be there. And you should also mention on your notice boards about these committees like student grievance committee, okay, ICCSH and anti-ragging cell. So all this, every student should be aware of the existence of this committee. Okay, so therefore awareness programs are required for this. There should be some policy with zero tolerance should be there. The policy we have to put on the website of the college. Okay, then about this cell also, who are the members and who is the chairperson, where students can contact in case of any problem. So all this information also has to be displayed on the website, on the notice board, on the student handbook, which we circulate to the students. So it means that every student should be aware of this. Then mechanism for submission of online and offline students' grievance. Okay, so if student has any problem, any grievance, so what is the mechanism that is used? Whether online mechanism is there, then you have to provide the screenshots of the website, like how online system you follow for student grievances. And if it is offline, then how it is taken care of, how students can approach the authorities, okay, what decision is taken, what action is taken. So all this minutes of meetings, every institution should produce, okay, while giving SSR. So SSR may you also have to give, first of all, for first point, that there are committees which exist, and proper implementation of this statutory rules, regulatory, are adhered by the organization. So all these details you have to provide about the office orders, about the notices, okay, about the meetings also, and also the constitution of these different committees. Second is awareness programs. So that means you have to give the proof, like what awareness programs you conducted, and you also have to give the screenshot of the website where you have mentioned that there is a policy for zero tolerance. Okay, and there are different committees in place where they can contact, where students can contact. So that screenshots of the websites, screenshot of the notice board where you have displayed this, and also the screenshot of the student handbook, and also the report of the orientation programs, induction programs of the students, where you talk about this statutory bodies. So there's all proof you have to give. The next is mechanism for submission of online. So that also you have to provide the proof, like what is the mechanism for submission of the grievance. Okay, if it is online, then you should also give the screenshot of the website where online system has been displayed. Offline, if there is any grievance box or suggestion box, if it is kept at the reception, then you also have to give the geotagged photographs of this. Then timely redressal of the grievance through appropriate committees. Okay, timely redressal, like whether you take 1 week time or 2 weeks time in resolving these problems which are faced by the students. So again, in SSR there are 4 or 5 options, that whether all of the above or 3 of the above, 2 of the above. So you have to answer accordingly. And also you have to provide the minutes of the meeting of this student redressal committee or sexual harassment committee or anti-ragging committee. Okay, so all these minutes of the meeting should also be prepared properly. And also you have to provide the details of the student grievances, okay, and how much time you took in resolving those grievances. So a number of cases that you received, how many number of cases are redressed, how many number of cases are pending, what type of cases are there, okay, and what type of cases are addressed by the authorities. So all these details you have to provide to NAAC at the time of submission of SSR under this metric. Okay, so this is very, very important, because this all are required for the smooth functioning of any institution, any educational institution. So this was about the first key indicator. So in the first key indicator, as you have seen, there are 4 metrics. Okay, and all these 4 metrics are quantitative metrics. Now we will come to the second key indicator, that is 5.2.1, and which says that average percentage of placement of outgoing students and students progressing to higher education during the last 5 years. So year-wise, you have to give data, and it's a quantitative metric consisting of 20 marks. So there are 2 parts of this. One is about higher education and one is about the placement. Because see, what happens is, if students are pursuing undergraduate program, then you know that undergraduate, then students may not get placement, they go for higher education. So they are taking both together. Earlier, in the earlier system, they were 2 different metrics for higher education and placement, but now they have clubbed this together. So if you are talking about first, like number of outgoing students placed or progress to higher education year-wise during the last 5 years. Okay, so that means you have to produce the details, like how many students, what is the number of students, those who have passed out year-wise, and how many number of students have gone for a higher education. So along with this number, you also have to produce the list of the students, okay, name-wise, enrollment number wise, and where they have placed. That means where they have taken admission, the name of the organization there. And in proof, you also have to produce the admission letter showing that, yes, this student have got admitted or admission in this college. And the problem that we face, as a higher education, that students sometimes they don't produce this data. They don't provide this data to college. But you have to have those data. So you should develop the mechanism, like how you will take data, this, letter, proof every year from the students. Because without this solid proof, they will not accept. NAAC will not accept. So many a times what happens, we have seen institution that suppose there are 500 students, those who have got admission in higher education, but they do not have proof of all 500. So they cannot write 500 because a NAAC can ask for any student randomly. And for any student, if they ask the admission letter and if you cannot produce the letter, then proof, it means that then you will be marked 0 out of 20. So whatever you write, whatever number you write, you should have proof of all those students for getting admission in higher education, like which institution they got admission, in which year they got admission, and for which program they have taken admission, and the admission letter. Okay, so all this is required. Then for placement, like number of outgoing students placed year-wise during the last 5 years. So you have to give detail year-wise, program-wise, okay, how many students have placed. So there is a Excel which talks about the details of the placement of students. And in this Excel, you also have to produce, what is the package that is given to the students. So name of the student, enrollment of the student, from which program they have cleared, okay, they have completed program, then the company where they are placed, and what is the package that is offered by the company. So if package is not there, then you cannot leave, blank that column. So you need to give that. And you should also have the offer letters given by the company for each and every student that you are mentioning. Because this is the, criteria which takes maximum time to prepare for NAAC. Why? Because it is very, very difficult. I know that getting, data from students, getting placement offer and offer letter, and also the letter of higher education. So for this, you should have the mechanism, proper system, that every year when students pass out, they should provide all these details, all this proof to the college. And then only gradually you will be able to, prepare all this or maintain all these records. Then again, they will calculate in terms of percentage, that number of outgoing student placed, progressed, okay, and divided by total number of students who are passing out, final year students. So that means that they will calculate the percentage. Because see, what happens is in this education system, we are just producing unemployment people. Okay, so basic idea is that what they expect from any educational institution and what they want to see in this, criteria specifically. They want to see that what are the initiatives that are taken by the college, okay, so that they can make students employable. And what is the final outcome? That means that how many students are placed finally, okay, and what is the placement rate or the proportion or the percentage of the students in this institution. So because we talk about outcome-based education. So for any institution, what is the outcome here of education? Outcome is that students should be placed properly. Okay, so they may go for a higher education, they may get employment, or they may start their own startups, or they may become entrepreneur, but they should be placed properly. Okay, otherwise we are just generating, crowd of unemployed educated people, and which becomes the liability on the country, liability on the family, and that may create many problems for the society as well. Okay, so therefore that is the basic idea for any accrediting agency, that you should give proper, you should train your students in such a way that they are placed well. Okay, so this metric is of 20 marks. Then second metric under this key indicator is 5.2.2. That is average percentage of students qualifying state, national, international level examination during the last 5 years. Okay, so that means like CLAT, GATE or GMAT, CAT, GRE, TOEFL, MAT. So all this type of exams. But in this, it's a competitive exam. So in this, they have mentioned that entrance exams are not taken into this. Okay, so entrance exam of any university. But CAT and this GMAT, GRE, TOEFL, civil services, judiciary exams, so these are all taken into consideration here. Okay, so in this, the first format first is number of students qualifying in the state, national, international examination during the last 5 years. So year wise, you have to give the number of students. And in the second part, you also have to give the number of students appeared for this exam. Okay, so out of this, like how many appeared and how many of them have cleared. But in this case, only giving number will not help. Okay, so you will have to give the details like name of the students, enrollment, which exam they gave, and what was the enrollment number or the outcome of that exam. Like suppose if student is appearing for CAT, so what is the CAT enrollment number? Okay, or what is the score of the student? And for that, you need the score sheet of the student. And score sheet you will not get unless and until you have, their admit card, their enrollment number of CAT. So therefore, all these details, we have to collect. I know it is very, very difficult. I have seen students, they don't share this. But student, since they are the important stakeholder, they should also understand that they should help their alma mater. Okay, they should help their own institution getting good grade, and they should share all these details. But without this, because see, when if you will not submit at the time of SSR, they may not say anything. But when they will start DVV process, data valuation and validation, at that time they will ask, okay, that give the scorecard of the students or give the result sheet of the students, and or provide the proof of the students, how much they have scored in CLAT, if the students have appeared for CLAT. So without this, all this data, you will not get marks. Okay, so therefore this is very, very important that before entering number here, you should first collect all the supporting document. Because without supporting document, you will not get score. In fact, you may lose. Okay, suppose if you have 50 proof and you are writing that there are 100 students, and if they ask any one student's proof and you are unable to produce that, then you will be marked 0 in the entire metric, even if all other 50 are correct. Okay, so therefore, very patiently and very carefully, we should prepare about this specific, criterion 5, sorry. So then next is the third key indicator. And third key indicator, it's a quantitative again, the number of awards, medals for outstanding performance in sports, cultural activities at university, state, national, international level. And in this, we have to be very careful that when it's a team event, then the award should be counted as 1. Okay, you cannot count, like suppose in a team there are 10 members and you are counted 10 times. No. If it is a team event, then it will be counted as 1. Okay, so in this number of awards, medals for outstanding performance in sports, cultural activities. So that means why they are asking this, because as an institution, we should motivate our students to participate in sports activities, cultural activities, co-curricular activities and all. And they should get, laurels to the institution. And plus, both are benefited. Institution is benefited as well as students are benefited. And this helps in the overall personality development of the student. Okay, why? Because they will go, they will participate, they will get confidence, they will learn discipline. Okay, and they will also bring laurels to the organizations where they are the part. So in this case, what we have to provide is, along with this number, there is a template, because every quantitative metric has a template. Okay, and in the template, what is given is like the name of the student, enrollment number of the student, award, activity, in which activity they have awarded, they have been awarded. Like suppose if it is hockey tournament or table tennis or badminton in sports, okay, or any cultural activities like dance, music, whatever it is. So award like first position, second position, third position, or gold medal, okay, or silver medal, bronze medal. So all this details you have to give, and then also they will ask in one column whether this activity was at university level or state level or national level or international level. Less than university level, this will not be counted. Okay, like suppose in the college itself, if they have tournament, and if anybody won that prize from our college only, so at college level, that award or recognition will not be counted here. And you can see that this is a heavily weighted metric, that means 25. Okay, so if you lose marks here directly, suppose if you are getting 2 in this, So you will be getting 50 and you are losing 50 directly. So this is again very, very important metric. Okay, and we have to be very, very careful. We should motivate our students to participate in different activities and also provide the, certificate of the award, because without certificate, then again they will not accept. So we should collect all the certificate from the student wherever they have won or they have been awarded for their participation. Then also you should also have, communication of that event, or like brochure or flyer of the event, okay, where they have participated, the place, or where this tournament has taken place. So all these details they ask in detail, okay, in the template which is provided. So we have to have all full proof information and with supporting document. Okay, then next is average number of sports and cultural events competition in which students of the institution participated. See, the earlier one was related to the awards, and this is related to the participation. And in this participation, they are taking both organized by the institution or other institutions. So here you can mention all those activities which are organized by the institution itself and the participation of students. Okay, but in this, if it is organized by student, then again you should have the full proof report of the event organized by the institution. Okay, so in this, the name of the event, nature of the event, and how many students participated. So attendance sheet of the students, participation certificate given to the students. So attendance sheet, participation certificate and report, and geotagged photograph. But you know that geotagged photograph concept was introduced 2 years back. So before that, we may not have a geotagged photograph, but whatever photographs we have, we should provide that as a proof, okay, of organization of those events. And in this case also, as I told you, like in one of this metric only, like we have 5,000 students at our institution, those who participated. So earlier they asked just attendance sheet, but now under DBB they are asking like Excel sheet of the student participated. So now we are preparing Excel sheet, and after preparing Excel sheet, every 10th student certificate we have to produce. Okay, so that means that all foolproof things are required. Half things may not help, and that may not help you in getting good score. Okay, so this, as you have seen, that these are quantitative metrics, majority of them. So we have to be very calculative, okay, in preparing. If you are not calculative, then you will not be able to score good marks. Because see, when I go for peer team visit, I have seen colleges, those who are very good colleges in earlier system, they had like A grade, A plus grade, college of eminence, star college, but still their grades are going down. And there are B grade now. After A star college, college of eminence, now they are getting B grade or B plus grade. Why? Because they are not very calculative here. We have to be calculated. Okay, I visited one college and I have seen that they organized many activities, but their level of participation was less. Like in every activity, suppose 20 participation, 50 participation, and if there are 6,000, 7,000 students and total participation is suppose only 500 in a year, so it means that only 10%. So if participation is 10%, then you will be getting marks accordingly. Okay, so therefore you have to be very, very calculative. You should calculate reverse calculation, that if this is the participation, then how you will be able to get marks. Okay, so you should increase the participation. You should encourage, motivate every student to participate in different activities. So this type of calculations are required. If you are not calculative, whatever activity you do, you will not be able to get good score. Okay, and the last metric here is this is qualitative, that there is a registered alumni association that contributes significantly to the development of the institution through financial or other support services. Okay, so they will ask that alumni registration, if it is a registered association or not, and they expect that yes, it should be registered alumni association. Then you have to produce the registration certificate. the constitution of Alumni Association, photographs of the events, okay, which they have organized, or reports, donation, monetary donation, or other than monetary, help. Like they may come and give sessions to the students, they may give guidance to the students for the placement. Okay, so this type of activities, like what exactly they want to see, that even after completing the program, completing the course, alumni are the important stakeholders. Okay, they are your brand ambassador. They to be the part of the institution, they should work for their alma mater. They should help their alma mater in their growth. Okay, so with that expectation, this metric is there, and we have to produce all the data, all the reports of the activities organized through alumni, and then we have to produce it. Okay, so that's all in this criterion 5 from my side. So I have just completed in brief, and now I would like to discuss this, and house is open for the discussion. So whatever questions you have in your mind, you please feel free to ask, because see, these are the things which will be helpful only with the discussions. One-side lecture will not help, because when you are preparing for NAAC for your institution, then you face many problems. Okay, you need to understand many things, and that understanding will improve only when we discuss. That when we were preparing for our institution, we used to do brainstorming session every week with the faculty members, with the IQAC members, and that always helps. I tell you that where we started and where we ended, there was a lot of difference. Okay, a lot of work we did, lot of documentation we did. So this is very, very important for you as IQAC coordinator, or you as IQAC member, that you should have more understanding, more discussion, more brainstorming sessions while preparing for NAAC. Okay, so now house is open for the discussion.
The session is open for discussion now. You can post your questions in the chat box, or you can unmute and directly interact with the resource person.
You can unmute and you can ask, or chat box. I'm seeing one question, that can you explain more about alumni registration process? See, alumni registration process, actually it has to be registered in the court. Proper legal document is to be created. Okay, and there should be one constitution which says about rules and regulations to be followed by the alumni association. Okay, so to begin with, what you can do to make it easy, you can just take the best of the students, or those who are interested to be the part of alumni association. You can just take them and ask them to register as an association. And in this, you need one treasurer among the students, okay, one president, vice president. So different 4 or 5 posts you can create there, and one faculty who will be associated with this alumni association. Okay, with the help of that faculty will also be the member of alumni association, but not will be the position holder. Okay, and then they can get it by the court. Okay, registration process is their proper process, and accordingly it will get registered, and it will not take much time for the registration process of alumni association. And then after that, they can keep on organizing activities, events under that association. And there are many colleges which I have seen, and their association, that whoever pass out students, they charge some nominal amounts to become the member of that alumni association. Then each and every department could do registration. Actually, see, alumni association is only one. Okay, association will be one, but members can be from all the departments. Okay, because alumni is alumni from whichever program it is, from whichever department it is. So normally what we have seen the trend, alumni association department wise is less. But yes, if you want department wise, you can make it department wise also, or you can make it as an institution wise also. that for one institution, one college, one alumni association. But if strength is more, and some departments are very big department and some are very small department, okay, like suppose for example, there is one department where there are 2,000 students, another department there are 400 students. So in that case, what happens is that the department where there are 2,000 students, they will dominate. So the other department may not be would like to be the part of it because they will not get that importance. Okay, so in that situation, you can have department-wise also alumni association. So there is no hard and fast rule that it should be at the institution level or it should be at the department level, okay, association, but it should be proper registered association. Okay, so that is the requirement. Yeah, any other question?
Any other questions? You can post your queries in the chat box also.
Or you can just unmute yourself and you can speak out. Okay, just to see, whatever you do, just my humble submission here, that be the active member, okay, not just passive listener. Because passive listener, things will not resist. You will just listen to the session and once it is finished, everything will be zero then. You will not be able to remember things. But if you participate in discussion, you ask questions, then things will resist in your mind. It will stay. Okay, so don't do this only just for the sake of certificate, but you should do it for the purpose of understanding. Okay, any question?
Any other questions?
No more questions? They're enjoying holidays. Saturday means holiday, and therefore you people are not active. You're not asking question.
You can unmute and interact with ma'am, or you can post your questions in chat box also.
Okay, ma'am. So if there is no question, then we can just wind up.
You can wind up, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am, because they have no questions.
Okay. On behalf of IoT Academy, I thank Dr. Anuragha Jain, ma'am, for the very informative, interactive, and detailed session, ma'am. We thank you once again for the amazing presentation and criteria 5, ma'am. Your tips and techniques and criteria 5 will be very fruitful, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am, for spending your valuable time with us. Thank you, ma'am. I thank all the participants for joining the session today. And thank you all. Thank you very much, ma'am, for spending your valuable time with us. Despite your busy schedule. Thank you.
And all the best to all the participants. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Kindly submit the feedback form using the link that has been posted in the chat box. Thank you all.